Hey guys, how's it going? So it seems like 2024 is the year of the 3D platformer, you know? A lot of great 3D platformers came out this year, and obviously I'm here to talk about, well, obviously the games that I bought, but something else I don't want to touch on is obviously fan games, right? Now, obviously for Jet Set Radio, you got Bomber Cyberpunk, or for Wario Land, you got Pizza Tower. For F-Zero, you got Aero GPX and so on and so on. I mean, my general point for bringing this up is, if Nintendo or Sega or Sony isn't going to touch an IP, obviously this is going to be fan games. I would fucking love an Ape Escape fan game. That would be so fucking sick. I mean, I know at the end of the day, it's a dead franchise. Sony won't do anything with it, but I would love something like Ape Escape. I want to be able to play that that chaotic style. Capturing monkeys, getting into shenanigans, so on and so forth. Battling Spectre, getting into boss fights. I fucking love that franchise, and it is a fucking shame that Sony won't do anything with it. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't have a PS5, so that means I haven't played Astrobot, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I bring up the fan games for a reason, because it seems I've seen gameplay of the game, and it shows a lot of dead franchises that Sony has, like fucking Sly Cooper, Ape Escape, so on and so forth. It, from what I've seen, it's definitely a cool game, but like, damn, they're really showing the corpses of their old franchises. Either way, though, enough bullshit, and let's just talk about some modern 3D platformers.
Why did Mom give you the silver? I was supposed to get the
Where
silver.
were you when Mom was sick?
Oh, that's right. You were in Florida with that
Don't
guy.
talk to my wife that way.
Talk to any way I want to.
Excuse me.
You know, you're not even
I've got to say, I think I want to be a Democrat.
Okay, time out. Fangs and claws away. Peace on earth, goodwill to each other. Where's the love? You can't stop, Grandma. You can't.
PlayStation.
Yellow Taxi Goes Room. This is a game I absolutely have to talk about. Now, I kind of bought this game on a whim like a couple of days ago. Kind of close to beating it, but this game's fucking amazing. I mean, it's sort of like a collaboration between the GameCube, the Dreamcast, Crazy Taxi, and Mario 64. I know that sounds like fucking insane, but like, if you look at the game, it looks like it comes from that Dreamcast and GameCube era, you know? And then if you combine Crazy Taxi and Mario 64, as platforming, you have to drive people to places. Obviously, your yellow taxi. So it all kind of makes sense, at least to me. Let me know if I'm going crazy. Now, I'm not going to lie, the gameplay takes a bit to get used to. Like, the first time I bought this game, I remember playing it for an hour, just, learning the controls. And it does have a bit of a difficulty curve. But it's just an overall great game. It has a story, but it's honestly doesn't really matter. It's just kind of, a thing for you to get through the game. Also, another comparison I would like to make to Mario 64. Look at this boss fight. Doesn't it have any, similarities, And plus, think about it too, during the game you have to collect gears. In Mario 64 you have to collect stars. I mean, obviously, it's for two different reasons. Stars, you gotta save Peach. With gears, so here's basically the rundown of the story. You have Mario, and he basically created you, the yellow cap. And your goal is to get the green gears to stop the enemy Tosla and Musk from corrupting oil. And to be honest, that's kind of it. I know it's a weird story, but the game is great on its own. It's also kind of similar to Mario Odyssey, where you can collect hats for your yellow taxi. Overall, I really do like this game a lot. Like, it's kind of like a homage to that GameCube and Dreamcast era. But like I said before, the game takes a bit to get used to. It has a few difficulty curves here and there, but the game is just it's fucking great. If you like 5th and 6th gen 3D platformers, fucking buy this. It's $16 on Steam. Either way, though, enough of the taxi. Let's talk about something calmer, something from the N64 era.
Jingle bells, Santa smells, Christmas really stunk. I got nothing that I like, my gifts were all just junk.
Boxes full of clothes,
CDs no one knows. When I wanted something for my Nintendo 64. Zelda's great, Turok 2, South Park would be fine. How about Rogue Squadron? That game should be mine.
Make up for a lame Christmas. Get the hits you missed on N64.
Mom and Dad, I'm so sad.
So when Corn Kid 64 first came out, I heard a lot of good things about it. I heard some praises, but I honestly didn't give it a shot until recently. And like when I first thought, I should give this a shot, I honestly thought it was a ROM hack at first. I didn't think it was, its own game. Obviously, because, the N64, I figured, if it could run on the N64, it could run, I don't know, on an emulator. I didn't think it was its own thing, but either way, I'm surprised, but it's like $6 on Steam, and so far it's been a great game. It has a very dreamy vibe. It has good level design, and its tutorial level is fucking cool. It's like a big playground. I fucking love it, and I really like this game's sense of humor. It has that old internet humor about it. Now, gameplay. Obviously, you're playing as a goat named Sev, and I honestly like what they did with the gameplay abilities. Obviously, you're playing as, a mutant goat, and what the goats do, they fucking headbutt. That's obviously used to gameplay advantages. You can see, like, kind of headbutt to the left, headbutt to the right, so on and so on. Obviously, there's double jump and all your basic platforming stuff. Now, another thing that I also love is the animations. It has that very cartoony style. It's given that Ed, Eddie, and Ren and Stimpy vibes, especially when he falls down. Like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie. For even this supposed to be based on the N64, it has very fluid animation. Enough for the GameCube, enough for the N64. Let's take a look at a truly modern platformer. Penny's Big Breakaway. Now, one thing I love about this game is that it's a momentum platformer similar to Sonic. And speaking of Sonic, this is actually the developer that made Sonic Mania, of course. They kind of separated from Sega, but to be honest, Penny's Big Breakaway is almost kind of perfect. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Mario 64, Sonic Adventure 2, fucking Yellow Taxi Goes Room, but Penny's Big Breakaway really does her own thing, Like, with the levels, you can be really fucking creative. You could do some bonkers shit with that yo-yo. But with, Mario 64 or Sonic Adventure 2, you kind of suggested on where to go. The level is made for a specific path for you to go on. But with Penny's Big Breakaway, you could go down any path, Like, with that yo-yo, you could do so many fucking things. You could ride on it. You could use it to catch the ledges. Of course, use it like a fucking yo-yo. I don't know, usually like a fucking grappling hook. Penny's Big Breakaway is fucking good. Although I will say this, it does get a bit difficult. Now the story. So basically you live in a kingdom, well, not necessarily a kingdom, but a fucking dictatorship, and this is once a year event where you could impress the dictator. And of course, Penny joins as she does, tricks with the yo-yo. Obviously, the king is impressed, but the yo-yo eats the king's pants, and obviously Penny's in trouble, and the story is kind of guiding you in different levels, right? So, like, level 1, you just got in trouble, you're trying to, figure shit out. Level 2, so on and so on. Your goal is to just get closer to the king and just, apologize or whatever. But yeah, Penny's Big Breakaway is fucking great. Now, these aren't 3D platformers, but these are some games that I really want to talk about. So, honorable mentions. First game I really want to talk about is Robotnik's Ring Racers. So, not gonna lie, I was kind of bored the other day and I just downloaded this and it is fucking awesome. Like, imagine Sonic on the Sega Saturn, but if he had a racing game. Well, not Sonic R, but, a good racing game. Robotnik's Ring Racers would probably be it. It's not necessarily a Mario Kart ripoff, but it's mostly its own thing, Its own power-ups, its own, charm to it. To be honest, I think this game has been out for a long time, and I'm just now giving it a shot. And it has online, and it has a big community, it has a big modding scene. And honestly, yeah, it's just a cool game to get into. Now, second honorable mention, Victory Heat Rally. I've heard some very good things about this game. Unfortunately, I haven't really gotten a chance to really dig into it and try it out. From what I've played of it, it's honestly giving off that Mario Kart Advance type of vibe, It has that flashy Game Boy aesthetic, bright and colorful. It's just kind of giving off that vibe. But anyway, though, ladies and gents, if you want to like, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and tell me down below, what's your favorite modern 3D platformer? Tell me down in the comments, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.